Back in the early days of adopting an agile way of working, we had the 3 C's of a user story. Card, literally a physical card on a story wall. Confirmation, the acceptance criteria written on the back of the card. And conversation, to assure that we were all aligned to the desired outcome of the story. The 3 C's actually worked really well for our teams. Soon, tools like Rally and Jira were introduced that allowed us to capture digitally the details of a user story. As these tool vendors competed for market share, they introduced more and more features, such as adding additional fields associated with the user story. The tools also accommodated things like a checklist for the definition of ready for each user story. With the growing capabilities within these tools, they also introduced customizable workflows that can be created for each type of work item. Sounds great, right? Well, here's a real-life story of how dominant local optima can actually take a good practice and turn it into something unhelpful. This is a high-level value stream of a user story within a specific team. As we look at the capacity of each step within the process, we see that quality assurance is the constraint within the system, as they have the least capacity. We should use the 5 focusing steps of the theory of constraints to break this constraint, but that's not what happened with this team. When Agile was introduced to the organization, it included conversations between business analysts and developers. The developers on this team were very senior and had a lot of clout in the organization. They didn't take to the changes, especially the conversations. They insisted on being given written specifications and to be left alone. No conversations for them. Not having conversations reduced the capacity of the business analyst, as they had more work to do when preparing for a user story. This also made them the new constraint within the system. Management chose to elevate the new constraint by hiring an additional business analyst for the team. This moved the constraint back to quality assurance. Note that these changes did not increase the throughput of the team. Rather, it increased the headcount and therefore the cost of delivery of the product. But this is not the end of the story. Stay tuned for part 2 for more details.